guys, it's Jess. Welcome back to my channel, and this is my September TBR. So I know I said in July that I wasn't going to be doing TBR videos anymore because I am more of a mood reader and I tend to just read whatever I'm feeling at the time, which is still true, but I have been struggling to keep up with the amount of books that I need to read, and my mood doesn't always allow for me to get through those. So I am back doing TBRs for the time being to try and get through that massive pile of books that I need to get to, because I have a few arcs that I still haven't read, and I have a few new releases that I still haven't read, and I still have all of these vlogs planned that I haven't done yet because August was horrific in terms of reading for me. So we're back to TBRs for the time being. But yeah, we're going to start with the arcs that I mentioned. So I have 2 arcs on NetGalley that I were approved for a while ago, and I really need to finish them this month. The first one being The Night Swim by Megan Golding. So this came out the start of August, and this is a thriller, and it's centered around this rape trial. I don't really know too much about it, but I know that there is this woman called Rachel who has a true crime podcast, and she starts to investigate this rape trial, and some of the things start getting dug up about her sister's death 25 years earlier and how the two might be connected. Like, it sounds like there's a lot going on, and it sounds like something I would enjoy. I have seen some really, really good feedback about this book, so I definitely want to get to that this month because yeah, I've had the arc for ages. I really need to get to it. The second arc that I have on NetGalley is Little Bones by NV Peacock. This doesn't come out until the 31st of October, so still a while until it's released. But weirdly enough, this also centres around a podcast, and it's about this woman who is the daughter of a serial killer. He was called Mr. Bones, and she ends up hearing about his story on this true crime podcast, and then things start getting delved into about her life. And yeah, that's all I really know about it, but again, it sounds really interesting. I'm hoping it might be a little bit creepy because judging by the book cover and some of the reviews I've seen about it, it is going to be a bit creepy. But yeah, really looking forward to getting to this one as well. Sounds like something I will really enjoy. So those are the 2 arcs that I need to read, and I have them both on Kindle, so shouldn't be too difficult for me to finish those pretty quick. I can read them on my phone when I'm at work. But now we are on to physical books, and the first book that I want to read this month is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. So this is a young adult contemporary, and it follows these 2 girls whose fathers are on the same flight from the Dominican Republic to New York City. So this is based on a true event. There was a flight from the Dominican Republic to New York City in 2001, I believed, that crashed, and I don't ever remember hearing about this event. I would have been about 5 or 6 at the time, so I was around, but I was very young. But I've read up on the event since hearing about this book, and I think this book is going to be a very emotionally charged read for me. So both of the girls' fathers were on the flight when the plane crashes. One girl is waiting at the airport for the plane to land and for her to see her father. The other girl is at school when she is told that her father's flight has crashed. And this book deals with the aftermath of that event and how they cope with it. It's all about grief and love and loss, and it's also written in verse, which I've never read a novel in verse. I know that Elizabeth Acevedo has done this before with Poet X, and that's another book that I would really like to get to. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this. I've heard nothing but amazing things about it, and this cover is also gorgeous. The other books that I would like to get to this month are these here, and they are all by Matt Haig. So I've read 2 books by Matt Haig. I read The Humans last year, which was one of my favourite books of 2019. It was so much fun. It was incredibly witty, really funny, quirky, just everything I love, and it made me fall in love with contemporary fiction again, because it's a genre that I never really used to enjoy, but Matt Haig managed to pull it off for me. And then I read How to Stop Time back in March, and it wasn't quite as good as The Humans, but I still really enjoyed it. And so I have the 4 other books by him here that I still need to read, and I'm not going to go through the whole synopsis of all of them, but I have The Dead Fathers Club, and this is all about an 11-year-old boy whose dad has died. He owns a pub and he's died in a car accident, and his mum is having an affair with his dad's brother. Then his dad's ghost appears to him one day and tries to persuade him to get revenge on his uncle, as you do. And I believe this is a Macbeth retelling. I know it's a Shakespeare retelling. I think it's Macbeth. Then we have The Last Family in England, which is another Shakespeare retelling, and I believe this one is Henry IV. And the thing that excites me the most about this one is that it is written from a dog's perspective. I love dogs, who doesn't? So this sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And the dog is a Labrador, and he is part of this Labrador Pact, and his family are threatened in some way, and it's up to him to try and save them. Then we have The Possession of Mr. Cave, and this is all about a man who owns an antique shop. He has a pretty tragic life. His mum committed suicide when he was young. His son has been killed in an accident. His wife was also murdered, and he has a daughter who is the last remaining immediate member of his family, so he's trying to do everything he can to protect her and to stop her succumbing to the same fate. And then we have The Radleys, which is probably the one that I am most excited to read about, because this is all about vampires, and it's definitely going to be a quirky take on the vampire genre. I don't think I've read contemporary vampire literature before, but we're going to give it a go. And this is about these 2 kids who end up finding out that they're vampires, and we follow them as they come to terms with that and try and live their lives as vampires while also trying to live their lives as humans, I guess. I don't know, but it sounds really fun. So these 4 books I am planning to do a reading vlog on, because I feel like I need to read these back to back to get a sense of what Matt Haig is all about. I mean, I know what he's all about just from reading the last 2 books, but I just really want to read these back to back, because I think I'll be able to better judge if I 100% like Matt Haig or not. And he's quickly becoming one of my favourite authors, and I've only read 2 of his books. So we're going to see what I think of these in a vlog, and please let me know if you've read them and what you think of them and whether it's worth it. I know Matt Haig has a new book out called The Midnight Library, and I don't really know what it's about, but I have just assumed that I'm going to like it because I've liked everything that I've read of Matt Haig so far. But after I've read these 4, we'll have a better idea of where I stand with this guy. So that's pretty much all of the books that I'm planning to read this month. But I have a bonus book that I would like to read, and well, I've not really picked the book specifically, but I would like to try and read something by Stephen King this month. I don't know what book I'm going to pick. I am heading to the library a little bit later to try and see if they've got anything by Stephen King that might interest me. I would like to try and maybe get Pet Sematary, because I've heard that that's a good jumping on point to start reading Stephen King, and I've heard really great things about it, and I've heard that it's one of his best books, and also I know that it's really creepy and it's great in terms of horror, and it is that time of the year now where I really want to read scary stuff, so I'd like to try and get that. If not, maybe Gerald's Game, because I remember watching the Netflix thing based on that, and it wasn't amazing, but I really liked it. So maybe that, or probably Misery, or maybe The Institute. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see what they've got. I don't want to go for anything too chunky. I'm not going to go for anything like It or The Stand or the 1963 one, like the Date one. I can't remember what that's called, but we'll see. And I don't know if I'll update you or not, but I'm sure you will find out eventually. And I would love to do a reading Stephen King reading vlog. They seem really popular at the minute, and I've never read Stephen King, so it'd be quite cool to see my thoughts on that in real time. Hi guys, so it's Future Jess here, just with a quick update. I've just got back from the library, and the only book that I managed to find by Stephen King was Mr. Mercedes. So yeah, it wasn't what I was initially intending to pick up. I was hoping to go for something that's a little bit more recognisable, like some of the books I mentioned previously, but I've just been speaking to one of my lovely followers on Twitter, and they've told me that this is the first in a trilogy, and it's kind of like this murder mystery thriller type story, and it's about this guy who is obsessed with a detective called Bill Hodges, and he goes around killing a bunch of people, and that's all I really know. But they said that it's creepy and it's wild towards the end, and that it's one of their favourites. So sounds really promising, sounds like something I would like. So this is going to be the first Stephen King novel that I will ever read, and I am very excited. But yeah, that's my TBR for September, and I feel like it's pretty ambitious, but quite a few of the books that I have gone for are pretty small, so I don't see it as too much of a challenge, and I'm really excited to read all of them, so that is very promising. Yeah, let me know down in the comments below if you've read any of the books mentioned in today's video, and just leave your thoughts on them, whether you think they're worth my time or not. I always love to hear people's opinions. Also, if you have any book recommendations for me, I would really appreciate it, especially horror and thrillers and all the really creepy books, because it's that time of the year where I love to sit down and read those kind of things, so I always appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you liked it. Please click subscribe to see more stuff from me in the future, and I will see you all in another video very soon. Bye guys.